things before going into this game demo review. So basically, what I want to point out, especially on the side of EDG, is they are playing double duelist. Now, what does this mean, especially when you play Neon and you play Race? This means that these guys are gonna go in fast and hard, and they're just gonna get as much control at the start of the round as they can, just so they can get in very easily. And this is gonna be super effective, especially on the attacking side. However, on defending side as well, Neon in this map is super strong. Because you can take a lot of control, you can do fast rotations, you can do whatever you wish to do, and it's gonna show up. Well, not as much on the defensive side in this game, as Edward Gaming actually got 9 rounds on their attacking side to play as much as they could have. But playing Neon on this map seems to be very strong, especially in the Asia region. But the main point I want to point out is like double duelist and attack is really strong. ONS tours are not really ready for this aggression for some reason. It's very known in this region, especially, that Chinese teams tend to be super aggressive. So I doubt that this was a thing where they were surprised, like, oh my god, these guys are just pushing in. It's most probably the fact that they're playing a grand final, and all players in all teams are not very like super experienced players at the end of the day. I'm not really entirely sure. I don't want to point out any fingers on any players. I just know that these guys don't have international competition experience and LAN experience as much. I don't think this was played on LAN, to be honest, though. But the main pointer is these guys were playing as they normally play, and these guys were playing super scared. So it's gonna show up a lot of like ONS making mistakes rather than Edward Gaming making the right plays. Of course, they make a lot of right plays and they hit a lot of important shots. But the biggest thing that wins them this game, especially on this map, is just these guys not being ready and these guys being way too hesitant on doing things, way too scared when they play and take duels against these guys. So yeah, let's get into the demo. Okay, so the thing is, I don't want to keep my mic too close, but I don't want it to sound too bad either, so I'm just gonna talk on a semi-high voice. Welcome. Today we're gonna have a look at EDG versus ONS. I don't know how you pronounce the name of the ONS team, but anyways, EDG surprisingly made it to the next Masters event. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna look what kind of structure they have in their T sides, especially on the attacking sides, what kind of CT sides and setups they have. Are they actually a deep team with a lot of tactical depth, or are they just another Chinese team who is just gonna run and shoot? I did not watch this match myself, so this is gonna be first time reaction. I know how EDG play. I watch them a lot, but in this match, I kind of want to see them on a grand final. A lot of young players, not very experienced players, how they handle pressure, how they call strats and that kind of stuff. We're gonna watch Fracture at least and see how they prepared for their own map and what they can do. Is it only, shooting heads, or is there actually a bit more to it? Of course there is, but how much? Basically. So yeah, we're playing Fracture, and no surprises yet. It's a fast A rush, and it's not like okay. There's a lot happening at the start. Basically, what they do is they just put on a lot of stuff main to get main control like super fast, and then they just use 2 smokes to get in the site. This is nothing special, nothing too bad. They have breach for flashes. They have everything they need for this round, but here we see that they're already slowing down because they got smoked off A main. Z and JJKK, I'm just gonna call him Z. How much Z can do from the satellite position, and indeed he got 2 kills. So that's a good A main take, but it's a pistol round, it's a coin flip a lot of the time, so it's not so bad. Not too bad by EDG there. Just taking basic control. Not going too deep. It's a good thing for the team to understand when to push and when not to push. They got forced out, they didn't force it. They got smoked off, so they just stayed inside main, did their thing. Another fast round. Now, why I don't like this is Okay, it's actually not that like fast of a run. I mean, it kind of is. Like you play versus $150 shotgun that can one shot you in the worst situations. So why would you play this fast? But this is like a basic Chinese thing that the teams tend to do: go fast and shoot hits. The main thing that we need to see is when it gets more complicated, when they need to fall back, when they need to restrat in the middle of the round or the mid round calls and that kind of stuff, you know. Versus Nico, it's fine if you go fast, but it's always a dice roll. If they stack B that round, they maybe get like 3-4 guys, but we can already see because they had 2 guys die, they only have like three weapons and 3 armors. That's a big thing. Taking fast control on Fracture is really good on T side because you get to do more rotations. But here we see they just go in again. A lot of utility used here. Like maybe the one thing I want to show here when they go. Like look at the time here at the top. 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds. They already have this area control. The thing to note here is that ONS didn't put anyone here, because they kind of knew that EDG is probably going to be taking a lot of fast rounds, especially here. And the guys playing on A main, they are playing kind of aggressive, but not really. They already have like a knife here, so they know that there's nobody on A main. And I'm not sure if this is an anti-strat or just like a read from the enemy team, from the EDG side. But they didn't put anyone on A main, but they could have outplayed, played around the knife anyways if they wanted to in main. But the thing to note is here, 4 seconds, 5 seconds into the round, and these boys are already up satellite. We already saw that they are gonna go straight into the side, but the real strength in EDG especially is they can take control really fast and really structured. Well, not structured, more like they have a solid strat on taking control. Like here we see, we can go through this again. It's so fast that I need to go back to freeze time every time I go back. But you can see all the utility that's going on here. Stun into Neon going in fast, and then Raze going fast second with the small bombs jumping in. Double line. I believe this is lineup by the Neon. Lineup for the stuns, and he does a perfect timing where he can go into this area before the stuns go off. So if anybody is playing in the stuns, he just gets a free kill. But the negative side here is if somebody is actually expecting the Neon here, the Neon is all alone, as we see from here. But nobody's here. Also, there's a chance that the Neon wins the duel, right? But still, it's a lot of control in a short period of time. Quite easy to trade, even if there's the stuns, but still, it's a risk, but they are willing to take the risk. There's a fight happening on B, so they are not fast rotating, even though they hear a lot of steps on satellite and there's a lot going on. But now that ONS Slaters have main control, they are in a quite good position to retake this situation. Because all EDG has right now is site, and they really need to take fights in CT. And they do, and they actually get a lot of control. But here, TS is already up ramp and ready to go heaven, so there's really very little EDG can do here. The strat is not very solid. It's a very gimmicky strat. Like, you get in, you get as many fights as you can, and you kill as many people as you can, with as little utility use late round as possible, because they don't really have utility. All that is going on in the strat is them taking fast control of a site, and then they rely on their aim to get the job done, which is not necessarily bad, but you're gonna see when they go to an international event, there's gonna be a lot of rounds where EDG would normally win, but because the team is prepared for EDG and because the players are sharper than the opposition they have right now, they're just gonna get shut down very easily in these situations. Also here, ONS Slaters win the round, as they are supposed to. Bit of a mistiming there by Neon. Not really too bad because there's only 2 guys going up satellite. It's gonna be on A crunch, but as we can see here, ONS Slaters are really aggressive on ramp. Either they know that EDG doesn't really like to go B a lot, especially B ramp, B hill, B stairs, whatever you want to call this area. So they have an info and they play around the info, and it's all all and good. At the end of the day, they have the chamber trademark there, just to hold behind. But this is a lot of info for onto Slayers. And there we already see the rotations. But this is where normally EDG goes for a lot of fights and they go in fast sides, so they are hard to flank like this, but really good play by onto Slaters. On Slaters. Shutting down the whole round. As we see again, I'm gonna be quite rough on these guys, because the truth is, Chinese players are super sharp. They have very nice aims. They are very mechanically, well, not gifted. Of course, the players are gifted in that way, but they are hardworking. They focus on a lot of that side of the game. But when it comes to like deep tactics and doing like sick mid-ground calls, they don't really have that in their arsenal, at least for now. Because they don't really have like super experienced IGLs with like years and years of experience, maybe in like CSGO Chinese scene. But, you know, CSGO in China, I'm not gonna talk about that too much because I don't know too much about it myself. But there's a big problem. There's like Tsai Lu from China, who sometimes have done something in international competitions, but in majors, I think they fluked once top 8, but that's about it. Like, they never made it further than that. Okay, we're gonna go through with this round after all. So, okay. Way too much going on. First things first, we need to look at the minimap. Okay, nobody's died yet, so this is okay. Okay, so ONS is taking satellite control. They are fighting basically this side of the map. There's literally no one on this side except for the chamber on the EDG side. But basically this is a 4-on-2. These guys can flank, but these guys need to know that they can't go too far. If they go too far, as they are doing right now, it's a really bad time for them. Especially because EDG Neon Haodong has his ult up, so he's probably gonna use it anyway, because they know the money is bad on the EDG side, because they can see it from the scoreboard anyways. So I am a bit puzzled on why they're making this play happen, but then again, this is Asian Valorant, so anything can happen when you watch these games. But yeah, let's see. So Neon gets the Neon 1-on-1 win because flashbangs and stuns. Everything just going all around the place. Like, Haodong is just putting out every single piece of utility he can just to make room for his team. Like, that seems to be his sole purpose in the team, to make room for the team, especially on this attacking side. And here we see the sharpness of the players in China. So many headshots. There's very little tacticality to this. This is another like B rush, just like go rush B, shoot some heads, and that's how they do it. Really bad round for CT aggression as well. Defending side aggression, that is. So it's a lot of like stupid mistakes that you should be aware of, but then it's a final. There's a lot of pressure on the players on both sides of the equation. So there's gonna be dumb calls, there's gonna be bad calls, mistimed calls. Like, Rush B is not on its own like a super bad call, but doing it at this time, very not a good idea. Very much not a good idea. They had a couple people save last round as well, so it was a difference maker. This round, again, just like shoot a flash and peek. Good idea? No, not really. And they get punished accordingly, going 2 for 1 there. EDG. So this is like 2 rounds in a row where on-slaters are buying and they're just giving up 3 rounds essentially just by being way too aggressive on defending side. This might be a part of anti-stratting on their side, but it's still like very poorly mistimed. Because it's a one thing to know what the enemy team is doing and knowing when to do the anti-stratting. Okay, next round. Surprise, not so much another fast round. I swear to God, this is like a 20 minutes halftime. Probably not even that much. Here we see the same strat as I believe it was second round. Just going in, using utility from satellite, getting into the site, taking as many fights as you can at the same time. But this time, ONS were way too aggressive. It's an anti-eco anyways, but way too aggressive on A main side when they should know that at this point in the game, EDG, when they go satellite, they usually go all satellite or 3 guys A main. And since they heard nothing on A main, they didn't see anything on A main, they should be aware that they're going through satellite and maybe just group up and try to get 1 or 2 kills and just get away with it. Here again, same basic flashbang from the breach. A bit slower approach this time actually. And by a bit slow, I mean like 2 seconds later than normal. So the defending side is not as aware. But here's something that we see a lot from the attacking side of EDG, is they go just like 4 guys, 5 guys go the same place. At the start they take control and then they might have 1 guy lurking, but they usually go together as a group and just take as many fights and trades as they can. They're going very basic, but it seems to be working for them now, so why change something if it works? Again, the only problem is when somebody's ready for this kind of play. What's the plan B for these guys? Just going four guys on A main fast. It's another shot. One thing we need to have a look at as well is both teams. No, actually only EDG is running double duelist. So in theory, if you can place the KO and the chamber correctly in this map, you should be able to stop these fast plays. You can use your knife very effectively as a KO in this map, so a lot of bad decision making by ONS, but they should already be knowing that these guys go way too fast, like super fast on T side, so it's a bit on them for like not being ready for this kind of stuff. It seems to be the default for this team on EDG, where they just take control of arcade, they take control of satellite, one of those two. Then they use a lot of utility and go fast. This is probably the slowest round they've done so far. This is the 10th round in the half. And there's 1 minute and 10 seconds and there's already 2 guys almost at side from tower. But now, because they slowed down, they're just a bit more clueless as to what they need to do. There, the guy on the stairs was a bit lost. He didn't know how to time his peek. And he got peeked by a guy on site. And now they know that there's 2 guys on tower. But for some reason, they don't see anything, they don't hear anything, so they just want to clear out places. But it's a good change of pace by Edward Gaming for sure. It's the right time to do it as well. This is really good calling, I like this. The pacing, considering this EDG team, is quite good. They really thought it out that Neon can go in first, Raze can come up second really easily with the satchels, and then you have the 3 other guys. You have very solid support from the breach with the flashes, with the stuns, and then you of course you have your smokes from Brimstone, and then you have your Auber in chamber. And the chamber is usually only holding the flanks. This is the interesting side of the team. Very passive Auber, likes to hold flanks. He's not really getting the max value out of the AWP, but then again, he really don't need to. But now, like, this round is a good example where he's just taking an angle and holding very nicely. It looks like an aggressive angle, but he has his TP, so he can always fall back. So he can take that risky angle, get an off angle, get the shot, TP away. Still not really ready, Bazzy. Gets caught off guard way too easily. Same TS in the middle of nowhere, just taking like 3 different fights at the same time. Oh, that's unfortunate. But here we see fast kill, fast smokes into the site. 2-on-3 retake with the breach ult, not even reaching backside. ONS is not ready for this. It's the last round of the half, so the ult timing is not bad. It's just that it's the first ult from the ONS side of the breach on Estrella, and it's not a good one. Really need to get closer to get the whole site or the whole tower. You need to make the decision, and you need to start taking risks. But well, they win the aim duels, so they win the round. 3 rounds on defense. It's not the end of the world, but it's still not good. A lot of mistakes. So right now my timer is showing like 23 minutes for the first half, but that's us going back on the recording and just going through like nades and looking at things, so it's around 20 minutes off, which is extremely fast. Okay, here we get the comparison. Yeah, let's look at the CT setup here. They didn't move too much, so they do like a double tower or side tower hold with 2 guys on B, and then they have 3 guys pushing A main just to get the info. Like these guys are pushing. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. These guys are pushing A main and taking the fight. In case there's people coming A main, they probably get like good amount of trades and hopefully come back on top. And then if the enemy goes through satellite, the guys from B are just gonna rotate CT and hold CT, and these guys are gonna hold A main, so they're kind of like crunched up on site, stuck, as we already saw in the last half. But there we see again like EDG playing 3 A main. They were counter-stratting their own pistol round and own strats. They know what works and they just want to counter that, so if somebody tries to copy them, at least they don't lose to themselves in a way. Okay, they managed to lose the pistol round as well. ONS has to be the nerves, I guess. Here we see the first round where ONS can actually buy. It's an interesting one, to be honest. There's only one guy holding A at all, which is the chamber for Team EDG. This is just to have 4 guys on B. They either have a read and they know that these guys are playing a lot on B, or they're just gambling it, which is fine, of course. When you play in half buy or eco, it's very hard to get a lot of value and win the rounds by having like a normal hold of 3 players on A and 2 on B. So this is nothing too special. It's good awareness from EDG, but very basic stuff. A lot's gonna matter on if the A player is getting any kills. Of course, with the judge, very easy to get something done. And the angle is good. He's safe from satellite and he's close enough to get maybe a jump on got dead here. Okay, that's a good flash. Good awareness from ONS. All around Bassi jumping around. But yeah, there's nobody at A for Team EDG at this time, just because of the TP from chamber. But what they can do here is one of 2 things. They can all die to a bomb where ONS gets no money, but that doesn't really matter. As long as you make as much damage as you can to the economy of ONS, you're just gonna be okay. And here they get 3 kills? More? Oof. They get at least 4 kills. It doesn't matter if they win or lose the round. That's a lot of money wasted for the side of ONS. Then they go for the defuse, and nobody has a nice off angle. Oh, they almost win the round, but they get all the weapons down. That's a lot of money damage done to the side of ONS later. So at this point, what EDG has to be thinking is, alright, we got 5 kills on the eco, we didn't win the round, but now these guys are gonna be on light armor. They're not gonna have as many abilities, but they're gonna be fucked. So they have all the advantages going into the round number 16, and there should be very little ONS can do to win this round, if EDG play this accordingly. Ray's going for a bit of info on satellite is always good, because he doesn't hear anything, there's not much going on. He could fall back if he wanted to, but now he gets a ton of info here, and they can take a lot of risks at this point, because they're leading 4-11, and all the pressure is on the side of ONS for now. They lose another 4 rounds, then maybe there's more pressure on EDG, but likelihood of that happening is quite small. They have nobody holding ramp, but they have trademark holding the very top of the ramp, which is okay. Using utility to their advantage, smoking this off, selling that, hey, we know that there might be somebody there. Just very basic stuff here, nothing too like special. What we see on A side is a bit more interesting. There's more of a bait and switch setup there between the Breach and the Neon. So what's gonna happen is probably, because this guy is playing the corner here, this guy is playing CT. If they come out of the door, Neon already has this place covered right here. And if they come out of the main, Breach can get the info, he can flash, and the Neon can peek, depending on if anybody is going through the door. If people go through the door, one thing the Breach can do is he can either like come here and hold heaven, or he can just like stay here and give utility for the Neon, who is gonna either peek a main side or the door side, again depending on if people are going in there. So my guess here is that this Breach is gonna react if people are coming through the door or not. If people don't come through the door, he might just stay CT, and if people come through the door, he might rotate heaven and try to help the Neon as much as they can. Okay, see, he's staying heaven regardless, but he's still fighting with the Neon, not taking the optimal fight here, but they try to trade as much as they can, and indeed the Neon does get the 3k. And it's a very solid setup to a very poor execution. And there we see the strength of aim plus teamwork. Very basic. Anyone can do this in their games, in their puck games, ranked games, or in their scrims and actual games. It's like, if this Neon wasn't just randomly running, there's a way where ONS win this round just by killing this Neon. But they just managed to fail quite miserably. So now comes down the 4 spying rounds. They have nothing they can do here, honestly. Just going in ONS, very nice. Fast execution. There's stuff that the EDG can do here, but they decided to go for the satellite control, which is fine. You need to make the decision in this map, especially if you take main control or satellite control, if you take arcade or if you take stairs or ramp. It really depends on the team how they want to play this, but playing super passive is not usually good, and playing for both sides control, if you want to play for both main and satellite or arcade and stairs, it's not usually a good time for your team because you're way too split up. It's very hard to trade, very hard to get a lot of value out of the round, so you need to take risks, calculated risks. I don't know why nobody didn't react and just move out of the way of the ult, but that's okay. EDG win this round. They win the map. 4-13, that's dominant, out of the dominant attacking side there. Very little ONS could have done there, because their positioning, they were not ready for this map. I don't know how hard they drilled this map for themselves, and I don't know if they were even expecting for EDG to pick this map. However, I take nothing out of EDG on this one. The main takeaway is that their pace is not really it's way too fast right now, especially for the EU and NA meta. They're just gonna get shut down very easily by better teams. However, if they can hit their shots, if they can surprise some of these international competition teams, and if they can stick to these pace changes, if they can get a bit more depth to their tacticality, especially at the attacking side, I think EDG has a chance to do a lot of damage. Now, I'm not gonna say they're gonna win a lot of matches on the next Champions, but they have an upset potential, and that's what matters to a lot of people. And this is where the Chinese Valorant scene as well can show themselves on an international competition level, and it's gonna be extremely exciting.